Here we go. Hello, hello, hello. All right. Yeah, she got the cheetah print on today.
Today his birthday, y'all. He acting like he's 40.
That's it. Oh, I feel it too. I feel every bit of 40. I feel older than 40.
When you break it for your ankle,
I ain't got it on. It make my ankle hurt worse.
he'll lie.
It does. All right, yeah, we got a very, very interesting show lined up today. We have one special guest. I thought we were gonna have two, but the other one didn't quite make it. But we're gonna make sure we get her on here soon. But we're gonna have a great show, and thank y'all for tuning in. We're gonna be kicking off in just a moment here. I hope it's gonna be a great show. I don't know what we're gonna talk about, but we'll we'll wing it. Mr. Bowman, can you handle that? She
I'll see what I can do.
she probably got a list.
921 WMPR. 60333 is on the backside of 6 o'clock where every Thursday, 6 o'clock to 6:30. Live with representation.
6:32. This is so TV stars. So 6:32.
Your co-host is Brendan Bowman.
Oh,
The Gold is Studio B, your host.
All right, good evening out there. Hines County District 66, Byram, Terry, Raymond, Utica, South Jackson, and surrounding areas. It is truly a pleasure to be here with y'all on another Thursday for the Reliable Representation Talk Show. And just in case y'all don't know, today is a federal holiday. It is my birthday. I turned 40 today. So if you went to work today, you need to make sure you tell your boss that they owe you some money on a comp day for working on the holiday. All right, Ms. Bowman, how's it going? Y'all just can't take anything serious. Hey there, Miss Darlene Wilson out there from Utica, Mississippi. Miss Darlene is here early today. Y'all, Miss Bowman's over here laughing. I don't know what's so funny. But Miss Bowman,
sorry.
are you ready?
Hey everyone, happy Thursday. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Handy, you gotta play a birthday song for Handy got you. What have you been doing for your birthday today? I haven't talked to you but since 1 something this morning and again around 10 something.
I have been at home pampering myself in the bed. I ain't doing nothing all day. I just been laying in bed watching TV. Hadn't done any work, checked any emails, hadn't done anything. I just rested and relaxed. That's right, rest and relax. R&R, yeah.
Well, I thought we were gonna take a train ride tomorrow, you all, but he canceled on me, so we can't go because our money's funny.
Money's funny right now.
So I thought we were gonna be going to New Orleans for the weekend, but he done canceled on me. So I guess when we gonna go?
We're gonna pray about it. We'll get there one of these days. And after get done here, next step is
Hold
gonna
on,
be.
Handy got something for you. Just hold your mute.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Handy, I need a clock. Oh, I'm sorry. I need something. Handy said he got to get down for your birthday. No, Handy.
I don't know if they go to y'all. I got a song playing on here.
Handy said he gonna get down for your birthday. You don't know nothing.
I ain't never heard this one before.
He know they play that in years with y'all.
Sure do. At the juke joint over there, at the Blue Front Cafe and all that.
That's the whole
The
phone.
Blue Front Cafe. Everybody know the Blue Front.
Thank you, Handy.
Thank you, Handy. Thank you very much. Really, really appreciate it. But yeah, just resting, relaxing. I can't wait to get out here, put my good clothes on, look good for y'all. Going home, getting out of these good clothes, and gonna get back in the bed and just sleep the rest of my birthday away. But it's just a great day to still be above the ground and to be seen and not viewed.
Oh, praise the
So
Lord.
that's the
praise
perfect. That's the
Lord.
perfect. Hey, Mr. Walker, and hey there, Miss Washington. Thank y'all so much for tuning in,
I got an announcement.
and thank you for the happy birthday wish, Mr. Walker. All right.
Somebody at church having some. I know you're probably not gonna attend unless it's in District 66, but
You never know.
somebody having something.
You never know when it's gonna pop up.
Okay, well it's off. I'm sorry, y'all. I was a month early, so I'm gonna wait till next month and announce it. Okay, what else you got? Because we freestyling today. I didn't bring anything. My day got started late.
Hey, that's it. That's pretty much it.
Okay, well let's talk about this, you all. What do you all think about the new mayor transition team? How are things going? I see we get some demolition projects in.
Yeah, across from the state appropriate funds for across the street from the convention center,
Okay.
and so they're over there tearing the parking lot up. So we got a project going over there. Just the momentum around the city of Jackson has really been building. It's a new, fresh, positive energy. We're seeing leadership actually come to the table, which we are very, very proud of that. The council meeting was at 6:00 this last time. It was a very short meeting, and it was short, but it was effective.
Okay.
That way to approve a lot of stuff on the claims docket. Hey, Gerald, thank you so much. Thank you for the birthday wish.
So everybody, y'all call in and wish him happy birthday. So he can feel really, really special today.
Thank you so much. It's just,
A blessing to be thought about.
That's it. And see, when you don't have to go to work, people should be grateful that they got a day off today for the
I didn't
holiday.
get one, so I don't know what federal holiday you're talking about. Must be something.
You need to be with the president tower in the morning and tell them that they should give you.
Conversation.
Absolutely.
Well, I do have some hot topics to discuss. I think we want to go back to revisiting a situation that we've talked about several times, most recently. I want to talk about our elected officials and the abuse of power. That's where I want to start it. I have one particular individual that I'm aware of battling a lot right now. Grandchild is in custody with the abuser.
1 second. Miss White, thank you so much. I do accept birthday greetings from Chattanooga. Thank you for tuning in. And Sir Jonathan Rucker, cuz, thank you for tuning in. I'm sorry, Miss Bo. Go ahead, Miss Bo.
Okay, we're back at church. When the preacher's preaching, you don't interrupt. You wait until I'm done. Okay, so we want to revisit that. You all, I do want to say this on a very, very serious note now. We joke and we play every Thursday to kind of get the energy moving and get our arguments active. But if you are aware of any type of infractions that an elected official is doing while they're in office, I highly recommend, strongly advise, it behooves you to make certain that you file a formal complaint. You may feel that, hey, it's not going to go anywhere, it's not going to do anything because of the connections that person has, but I want you to make it known, because if you don't, what you are stating is you are in agreement with the ineffective leadership or decisions that person is making. And so I wanted to kind of touch down on that to say, Hinds County, we have a long way to go. We all are, kind of rallying behind supporting African Americans, but I think that we've been our own worst victim, because we have been acting in unprofessional manner, hurting our own. So I wanted to tap on it for a minute.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. And for all of our viewers that kind of follow us on Facebook, go back and look. Last night, I did an interview with the Mike Magazine, with Angela from the Mike Magazine, and we kind of went in depth. We were on it to almost midnight last night, probably over 2 hours, just kind of talking about some things, that we're seeing. Misconduct, like Brittany said, misconduct amongst elected officials. And now is the time that we have to start making sure all of our elected officials, myself included, are held accountable, and that we're doing what we were elected to do, that we're doing what the citizens are paying us to do, and just not being power hungry and hurting people because the power has gone to your head, because we commonly see that, and people are suffering. That's why we're in the shape that we're in right now, because people have gotten the big egos and they don't want to do the work. So we got to start speaking up and speaking out about the injustices that we're seeing around us.
Definitely. So I wanted to touch on that. We're going to kind of circle back around that, but I definitely wanted to visit this. So we're going to shift gears a little bit. We're going to talk to our special unsemi, whatever you want to call it, guests. So tell everybody who you are, what you're here for, what you're going to talk about, all of that good stuff.
James Hobson.
Microphone.
Yeah, close to.
James Hobson, owner of Hobson's Junk Removal, and I guess tonight on episode 2, we started this last Thursday. So I guess tonight on episode 2, we're gonna talk a little bit about a story, something that I just went through while I was I was falsely accused of a crime, and I just want to talk about a story that I went through while incarcerated.
Okay, so you said something you encountered while you were incarcerated. So when were you actually incarcerated?
Back in 2011, like I said, I faced a little crime that I was falsely accused of, and I'm just here to tell my side and tell my story.
Okay, so you're here to tell your side, tell your story. So tell us who you are. We know you're James Hobson, Hobson's Junk Removal, but tell us besides that who you are. Like, what was your upbringing? So how did it get you to being incarcerated? So who is James before incarceration?
Originally from Brandon, I was a standout athlete at Brandon High School. A lot of people know me. A lot of people know my family. My father was an assistant pastor of the church. So, it's where I grew up, we was real family connected, family oriented, and it was just come from a real good upbringing.
Okay. So you say you were a standout athlete.
Right.
Rankin County got standout athletes? I thought that only happened in Hines County. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Zoo County, of course.
Oh wow, the Delta hit. Oh yeah, Sir Jonathan did say y'all had a good time. Okay.
Yeah.
So you were a standout athlete. After being a standout athlete, I'm assuming, how did you navigate to your professional sector? What did you do next after graduating high school?
After high school, I went and played college ball for a couple of years. Then after that, I settled down a little bit. Got married, had a daughter, and I got into law enforcement.
Okay. Settle down. I don't know nothing about that family yet. So settle down, got married.
Me, I'd have been there done that work.
Right, we don't know. We passed that. But it's gonna happen again, y'all. Just hold on. We think going down the aisle next year.
Let's get it.
Just touch and agree. But okay, but anyway, back to the serious you all. Gotta add that in there. So you went to law enforcement. Okay,
Right.
so I'm assuming you were working for a police department.
Correct.
Okay, okay, tell us about that.
Okay, yeah. I went through Jackson Police Academy, and I served, I think I want to say around 2 years with JPD. Then I transferred to Brandon Police Department, because that's where I'm from. That's where my family was from. And, a lot of people wanted to see me there because, that was where my upbringing was. And, but at the same time, that's when everything went wrong.
Okay, everything went wrong. So that's what happened when y'all leave Hines County. Folks, don't listen to me. Keep your tax dollars in Hines County.
They run it because they say it's better over there. No,
Stay in Hines County, y'all. They gonna trap you up every time.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So, okay, so you went working, left JPD, went on to Rankin County to Brandon Police Department, working law enforcement. Okay, so worked there, I'm assuming maybe 1 to 2 years.
Right. I was at BPD for 2 years.
2 years. Okay, so you serving and protecting. So after you started serving and protecting, then what happened?
Long story short, I ran into a couple of things, while at the police department that was unfair to me as an African American, was unfair to me as a law enforcement officer. It had me to the point to where I really couldn't, perform my job.
Wow. And so you had issues, internal issues that wow. And I hear this quite a bit.
Really?
I do. I hear quite a bit.
Rankin County? Or just
In general, all over, all across the board. I hear that happening. So that's really disheartening.
okay. So working, encountered some issues at Brandon Police Department. So which led to, I'm assuming there were some internal issues were there some discrimination issues going on? I know you probably can't go into specific details, but what type of injustices were you receiving while working for Brandon Police Department?
The minor one would probably be similar to going on a call and handling the call. But let's just say if I went on this is just an example. Well, no, it's not an example because it's something that really happened. But going on a disturbance, not knowing who the victims are or who I'm going to encounter while on the disturbance. So I go on it, meet the victim, and come to find out he's a former volunteer firefighter for Brandon Police Department. I handled the situation. It was a disturbance call between him and his mother. Handled the call the way, a law enforcement officer should. And the following day, because it was a late call, so the following day, I come back, I come to the station, assistant police chief called me in and tells me, he was like, Hobson, do you want your job? And I had no idea what he was talking about. But he said, Hobson, do you want your job? I said, of course, this is my passion. This is what I love to do. One thing led to another. Then he tells me, you need to be careful who you pull over. You need to be careful how you talk to individuals. You need to be careful on, who you give a citation or who you, try to arrest or anything like that. In other words, by the guy being a former fireman or volunteer fireman, he was telling me basically that if I wanted to keep my job, I just need to watch who I give tickets to, who I encounter, I better encounter certain people the right way. In other words, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I need to be careful with how I encounter white people, by me being African American. So it really made my job hard.
How long did you work for Brandon Police Department?
Right, correct. It was around 2 years, about two and a half years.
Okay. So after that, what was your next job?
Next job. You said? After I left Brandon Police Department, I went and worked for Region 8.
Okay.
So while working for Brandon, you stated you had an encounter, had a call for service. You went to go assist that whomever those individuals were. And so you were told by your supervisor that you have to be cautious about how you conduct yourself when pulling individuals over. So I'm gonna play the devil's advocate on that. So if I have to be careful about who I pull over, then how do I differentiate who's right and who's wrong if I have to be careful? Because I thought in law enforcement, if someone's breaking the law, whether it's myself, my mom, or Lieutenant Governor Holzman, if you've broken the law, you have to be pulled over because that's what you're under oath and saying you're going to protect and serve. So how can you not know who to pull over? Like, is there a sign or something that says, hey, don't pull that person over? So I guess I'm perplexed as to how a superior is going to tell. Have you ever heard of that happening in Rankin County?
I've heard this even happen here in Hinds County.
Really?
In the city of Jackson.
Wow.
I have heard allegedly that I'm not going to call names of people that one that did this, but we had a person that was in office that would tell JPD officers not to go to certain neighborhoods, not go to certain areas of town.
What?
Absolutely. Yes. So
wow.
I have heard of that happening.
Okay, so went through that little episode with Brandon PD, kind of like, you know what, I'm tired of this, I'm gonna bounce, I'm gonna go find me something else. So you went to Region 8, worked at Region 8. So how long did you stay at Region 8?
I was at Region 8 for about maybe 6 months before, the big boom happened.
Okay, so you were there 6 months. So I know you can't go into specific details about what happened. So you're at Region 8. So then what takes place to get you incarcerated? So
like I said, again, without getting into details, I basically was a victim of a, how can I say it?
Of an alleged.
Allegedly. Well, you don't have to go that far with it. But I have a question. I'm just going to go ahead and pull the Band-Aid off.
Okay.
All right. So do you feel that this thing that you were falsely accused of doing, do you feel that the lack of the investigation had anything to do as far as possible retaliation from the department?
I really do. I really do. And not only that, the investigation from my so-called public defender, because neither one of them did a proper investigation and found out, and they didn't want to know the truth.
That happens a lot. And with people, when you're dealing with a public defender, and no shade on them, not talking about them or anything, but a lot of times they want to plead the cases out to keep from going to trial so they don't have to do the extra work. Mm-hmm. And you have people that are plea and take that plea because if you look at, you can go do 5 years instead of going to trial and getting 60 years, young men are going to do that. And if you're an African-American young man in Rankin County, you have to question, am I going to get a fair trial?
Correct.
Even if you were in Hinds County, wherever you are, you have to just question it because juries can say anything. They can interpret it. You never know what the outcome is going to be. So that's why it's important that we stop allowing our young people to take these plea deals. And we need to start making sure that we're holding our prosecutors accountable to making sure they have all of the evidence before it goes to trial.
Well, that sends me on another rabbit hole. So that goes back to the same issue that we've been discussing over several weeks with the young lady, going back to elected officials, making certain that you elect the right people, because if you have a bias, preconceived notion of how you're going to judge someone, then you don't need to be on the bench, because if you're not going to look at the evidence, then you're just favoring off, who likes who knows who
goes to church with me.
Yeah. What's your
socioeconomic,
correct, your socioeconomic status? We're all in this clique, we all live in, I'm just going to use, for instance, Reunion. in Madison or Annandale, then I that person is not guilty of anything, which allegedly could be guilty. And so that leads me there. So public defender improperly, I'll say, defended you in bed, so you had to accept the plea. You accepted the plea, went to prison. I'm assuming went to prison for
3 years.
Okay, for 3 years, 3 years. And so you accepted the plea based on, like Representative said, you didn't have proper representation. You didn't have a choice. Hey, accept the plea or I'm going to do probably life in prison.
Correct.
Wow.
And I'm going to be honest, if I were in his shoes at that time, I would have accepted the plea.
Would you really?
I would have. Yes,
Really?
absolutely. I would have accepted it.
Because of, what's your reason?
The reason being is I don't want them to throw me in prison for 60 years. Because, I mean, when we look back at this, here this young man is, it's clearly retaliation.
Mhm.
So meaning that they got it out for this young man. So do you really think that he's going to get a fair trial?
Point? No, I don't.
Those
Honestly, no.
Those are the things that, we have to get to the bottom of and figure out. So, for people, because people say all the time, and people probably tell you should never plead guilty. Why you take the plea deal? But they're not putting themselves in your shoes and not understanding.
Oh, we got a caller.
And
We
that's-
had no callers so long. I thought folks didn't love us no more.
I ain't know the phone worked.
All right.
But that happens quite a bit. I see so many people. I talk to so many people that it's happened to. Hold on, y'all. We got a caller. Hey, caller, you on the air.
Hey, man, happy birthday, first of all.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Man, I got one thing to knock your boots off.
Okay, give it to us.
I'm not going to call no name, but I asked, why did certain police officers be in this certain area all the time giving tickets away? Do you know what I got? You know the response I got?
What's that?
They got certain areas they go through because if they pull over working people, they're going to pay the bill. I said, well, you got people in Wooded Drive running red light, but we ain't worried about them because they don't pay their bill. The people we pulling over going to get the tickets for money. I'm going to let y'all respond to that.
Wow.
Thank you, caller, for that. That is so. What he just said is, wait a minute.
Chief White, where you at? Where you at? You done left the building. We need you to come on back.
So he said that they go to areas where working people are because they know that they're going to pay their tickets.
You haven't paid. I need my license, man. I gotta go to work every day.
You got to go all over town. And my thing is, you
We
need
got
to.
another.
You need to be in the rough areas more so than the other areas because that's where you have the crime. The working people are not out there shooting,
Committing
killing, and robbing
Right.
folks. They at work. Hey, caller, you on the air?
I don't know you like that, but I'm gonna wish you a happy birthday.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right.
And look, thank you so much for tuning in. Y'all, I feel special. Got a birthday call. See what I'm talking about. Thank you, caller. You made my day with that. But back to what we're saying, you don't need to be chasing behind working folks. These folks going to work. Why they going to work? These folks that you're not messing with, breaking in their houses.
Correct.
So you got everybody, like that goes to what you said. You need to be, and Mr. Hobson, like you said, you need to do your job. If it's me coming down there speaking, you need to pull me over. If it's the governor, you pull him over. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody should be held to the same standard when we talk about law enforcement and justice. And in the world that we live in right now, it's all about the haves and have-nots. And if you don't, if you don't have anything, they're gonna really just
crucify you.
They're gonna crucify you. They are honestly going to crucify you. And so this, it.
So that goes back to what we've been talking about, injustices. So in a lot of cases, we don't say anything because it's popular. Well, let me say this: it's not popular. And so what we talk about is what's popular. And so a lot of times what occur is we know that people of certain statuses are wrong for whatever they've done, but because of the time length, we'll say, well, that happened 10 or 15 years ago, so I can't address that. Well, that's still causing detriment and torment to someone's life because it may have happened 25 years ago, but if that unfortunate circumstance has occurred and no one has addressed, I'm just going to use you, for example, Representative Nelson, for passing bad legislation, then what that does is continue to go on. And so the next person come in, they do the same thing. So you're not helping, you're creating a generational curse.
I'm just saying, I'm doing a heck of a job. I keep getting reelected. I got the worst bills under the sun going through that. But they keep electing me. And another thing, like with people speaking up, since I've been working with the Sanders family, on this, we've been several years. And now they're finally starting to speak up and speak out about it. And I'm right there with them and I support them. But you would be surprised at how many calls that I've gotten telling me to be quiet, telling me, don't do that. You don't need to be saying that. You need to stay out of it.
You told me that about Mr. Hobson case. That someone, told you the same thing as well. And I told you, I said, well, I kind of understand their position. And he went off on me. And I said, sir, you do not talk to me in that tone. And he told me some very nice, not biblical words. And so I get his point because he's passionate about it. And he said, if that were you, how would you feel if that were you if you had to exchange shoes? So I get it. So, Mr. Hobson, you went through all of that, got out of jail for 3 years. So after that, how were you able to reacclimate yourself back to society?
In all honesty, it was hard, man, because trying to find a job, trying to find a place to live.
Wow. So you didn't have any place to live once you got out?
When I got out, I was sleeping on my sister's couch.
Wow.
I went from having my own place, nice apartment, family, kids, to sleeping on my sister's couch.
So that goes back to again. So y'all, we can't preach today. We got to get out of here. But you always say don't judge a book by its cover because you never know what somebody's going through. Now here I am thinking that you got out and went on back in Rankin County, did your thug deals, and now you're gonna tell us that you were sleeping on your sister's couch.
Correct.
Well, that's the dream that's sold. When people, when they get out, they're going to a better life. They don't tell you. When people get out, you still have to go pay you have to go check in with your parole officer. You have to pay your parole officer. If not, they'll lock you back up. But you have a hard time getting a job because of your background. And so that's why we see such a high recidivism rate in Mississippi. I think it's about 60 to 77% of people that go back into the system. And that's the reason why.
Wow. So before we end, Mr. Hobson, because we have him and Miss Sanders. We got a grocery list of folks we hit from right now, but there are the two priority cases. Everybody else's we can kind of maneuver through. It is not as detailed and meticulous as far as harm and danger for other cases. So I want to go here before we get off. So you had to sleep on your sister's couch. So trying to reacclimate yourself back to society. So what were your next steps like? Were you able to go back and say, hey, I accepted this plea because I didn't have any other choice. Like, where do I go from here? So did you go back to speak with anybody in the legal system to say, hey, I'm out. What do I do now?
No, I didn't because I didn't know where to turn or who to go to. They don't tell you that when you take that plea. They don't tell you, okay, well, contact this number when you get out and they'll help you get on your feet, this, that, and that. They don't tell you that part. So there was no one for me to call or visit and talk to or anything like that. It was just, me, my family, me, the Lord and my family.
And another thing people don't realize is if you don't appeal your conviction in a certain amount of time, you lose that right. Meaning, Mr. Hobson, if you wanted to appeal it now, you can't. You are stuck with this. It's virtually impossible to get these things.
Pass legislation.
That would be great. But it's virtually impossible to get things overturned. You have to go back and do due diligence and figure out things and research and all this and this. So it's not a walk in the park like people think that it is.
And so I hate to say this, you all, before we go, it's really a catch-22. You see this happening to black on black, then you see this happen on black on white. And this is what I want to say, you all, because like I said, it's going to be a continuing conversation. If it's black on black, we want to have protests. Black on white, we want to have protests and everything. But when we do it to each other, we don't want to do anything. We sit silent, we know what happened, but we're afraid of retaliation. Me and Fagan talk about it all the time. Martin Luther King stood alone, but he was one powerful man because he stood for what he believed in. He died for what he believed in. So you got to start taking a stance. I don't care if it's black, white, blue, green, polka dot. If you know somebody's wrong, you got to say, I love you enough to say, I can't continue on like this. I got to voice it because what you're doing is hurting other people.
That's it. And as we finish up, I want to send a few shout outs. Representative Den over in Vicksburg and Warren County, thank you for the birthday wish. Y'all, my cousin, Constable Eddie A. Smith up in Yazoo. That's the law enforcement up there in Yazoo County. Thank you, cuz, for the birthday wish. My cuz Sharon Woodard, y'all, she have you. What they call it? Style down and laid. What they call it?
He just went to the beauty shop lady. What you go get? You ain't getting no dad because I don't see none in
I
your head.
ain't got no doubt, y'all. That's my cousin Sharon Woodard.
Fried dad and laid to the side.
Fried, she had everybody here in Garrison City fried, dying, and laid to the side when she was a beautician
in the zoo
In-
without college.
in the zoo. And Miss Mary Bradley from Columbus, Ohio, thank you for all your support and tuning in. And for Columbus, right in.
Condolences to your family, Miss Bradley.
Oh my goodness, I'm sorry to hear that, Miss Bradley. I did not know.
Oh yeah, condolences to Miss Brenda Taylor in Raymond. Her father passed, Mr. Fred Taylor. So condolences to Raymond as well.
And to Evangelist Lisa Lawson, thank you so much for the birthday wish. And Gerald, I'll get with you. I'll get with you off of here about what's going on. So my really good friends. And Ms. Frazier, Coretta Frazier, thank you so much for the birthday wish, and thank you for all you do for our community. Well, y'all, our time is up, and we're gonna get off here before Sheriff Jones come and get us. All right, so Heather, you can take us out. We'll see y'all next week, same time, same place. Thank y'all for tuning in.